Cheesh, Woochin Chassati, the cut Johan. Ak, Yaach, Iyatee, Acho Wuhan. Just the cut Johan tel Hosaku gooxʼ iyatee. Gwelly Twasaku Hainki Niki. Kayaaní. Gwashukwa gooxʼ iyatee. Just the cut Johan Khan Kanan. Gooxʼ iyatee.
Folk Festival.
Oh,
Iyatee.
Daakahídi iyatee. We when I say a centennial, ye has was 100 talk daakahídi. Cajun daakahídi. Gosh, the cut Johan gooxʼ iyatee. Yeah, you that gooxʼ iyatee.
Daakahídi yeexʼ.
You ask.
Ak, yaach.
Asking?
Khadi, that's the cut Johan.
Daakahídi yeexʼ.
Tak yeexʼ ka X'éig.
Okay.
Close.
Daakahídi yeexʼ.
Jeez.
Daakahídi yeexʼ.
Okay.
Squaxin Island, Tawiat, Anich, yeexʼ.
Okay. Jeez.
Hatchanauk, yeexʼ.
Okay.
Ah.
What you got? The cut Johan. The Huachege. What's the way Dísi? Yeexʼ yetki aya haji. Yeexʼ ay. Tujiach has daakad. Like tujiach daakad.
Douche. Where you do a sock. Also do a sock.
Echosaka.
Day.
Jakhi. Hella sa kusti. Just yeexʼ ha hit the yeexʼ. Ach yetki ekwoos. Echosaka ka. Tlach tuashku. Du yetasu wasa. Kai ahashukwa. Douche. Shuna you do a sa. Shakshani uwasa. Wishkashnik tin. Gwalisa ku. Gwalisa tin yashkashnik. Gooxʼ iyatee. Cook qotu yiji yes. Oh yeah, do.
Akdushi Dwayne you do a sock.
Okay. Yeah, do a wishkashnik. Kakwan ish kashakshani tina da yeje tu yeja. As to iyatee ga da de ke dust'eix ye. Ha Alkszá ha kusti sa tiu a. Gwell Connach oig dain a cawsachid. Gwell we a gehai chwaach was a go jadu sawi kuhanti a da yeji wini. Connach yke. Yadu da kun tago is at kiatsko do ik ko a tle do shoot talk sati. Sagut you do a sak wish at katsko do ik ko a shot da. Just so I think it has to Kately could Shuna Yadush Kelkach Echbus Ach. Itlide. Shuna Gosuwa. You at Kujik Nuchwe Adatki. Has to Khil Kitty de Ya Hasna Atwe Adatki. Just Shawat has to Khil away Nesha. Has to Ina Kayaaní ki Khil as Echu Koch. Yan Shukuk to Handigach to Koch. Has to Yana di Hasakawa Chuck. Yan Chukat has Koch. Has to Khil Uch Shadadu to a Sagu as Eich a Yawuchai. Sagut Kat to Khil Yande Yas an Asnain we Yan Shuka. Shadadu Khil Uch to iyatee Khat a dust'eix. Tlenta K has out the tech. Shawat has to Khil has to iyatee Khat a dust'eix akuya. The cut that the Yakwaheko puts a tea. A jaya at Yawani a jich to tea. Ya aadé to nechat. Ganach has our tsekwechat. Kakanach has to Ewuke. He awakened Shuatan. The Kakinach das away. Da Guntag always at gets good to eat ko atle do shutak sati.
4 winters ago.
Katago da.
Oh, 4 years old.
Oh.
Dakasa.
The brother, however, was 6 years old.
So the daughter was, or the young girl was 4 years old.
Good you do a sock wish at Katsko to Ikko Ashada.
The boy's name was Sagut, and the sister's name was Shada. No other way. Oh yes, so the boy's name was Shada, and the young girl's name was Sagut.
Joyful?
They just made them up.
Oh,
I asked.
because I heard Sagut Kuaha, and
Yes.
this is a joyful time, right?
Good, yep. So Sagu is joy. It's the noun form of Sigu. So you could say Sagut Kuaha, the time has come for joy. Or when we were doing phrases for gold medal last year, I proposed Kanak said, that's a bit much. So I was like, basketball is our life. So she said, I like that. Basketball is our joy.
Sugukuha, though, is with the short A.
Good, yeah.
Like Sugu.
Sagu. Sagu inyen qati. That is, I could just get a stamp. That's my, so I say happy birthday to everybody.
Sagun in
In yen qati. Let joy be with you.
Oh, that's better.
I heard it from Dake. Winnie Atlin. That's her name. Okay, just get the kaya achcha has to Kately. Kutaka. Shuna yadush telkach was.
Just think it. The dog would listen to.
Not quite listen to.
Hear it?
Not hear it. It's got the
Understand.
Yes, the dog only understands Tlingit.
Oh.
But then we get listened to at the bottom, kind of.
Dog's name is Kutaka.
Dog's name is Kutaka. Great dog name, in case you ever looking for one.
Shuna, the cat, listens to no one.
Right.
That's a way could yeexʼ sai.
Marble.
Yeah,
Oh, goodness cheese.
the katach kutaka ye kutchogek.
X'éig. Oh my
So the
god.
phrase here is ʻitli day, which is maybe appropriate at this time. And then shuna gooxʼ. So knock it off and where are you? Where are you, cat? You at kujik nuch with adatki. Yizatega. You at kujik. We shall consult the book. What are we on here? Tail slapping. Oh, we're trying to come up with head banging and heavy metal terms last night. So. What am I doing? Jeek. Jeek? I'm looking for G. Here's G. There's Jeek. But if it has, here's our big clue. If it has U in front and a K at the end, that's probably the repetitive form of a na conjugation verb. So now I'm looking for ka, ya, G, which is right there. Wonder, be curious. Let's just go look it up, see what kind of.
Always curious woman.
Right here. Use akuwajik. They are curious, wondering about things. Yuktuwajik kundanasa ikahtitaki. We wonder how much money we will make. Oh, I should send this to our faculty union and just so yes, Shu Atkujiki Shanuk is the name of a woman in a Raven story. She was a midwife, which we have a word for now. Āadé, which I will put. Well, I'll just show it. So,
The kids were always curious.
yes, children are always curious. That could probably be a U right there.
They went to their grandparents' house.
They went to their grandparents' house. Or grandparents. It's a single grandparent. The children did. Or they are going to their house. Just what has to go in nature?
Just grandma was home.
Yep. Just grandma's home. Or is home. Yep. Has to in Kayaaní yeexʼ ʼatudli.átk gooxʼ yanchukuk de chandigach de gooxʼ. When we edit this, which we will, because I want to do a little slightly different version of it, I'm going to change that to yeexʼ, because it's a big specific thing, not like information.
She said.
To them.
She told them, yeah.
She told them.
Your grandparents are going to go fishing or will go fishing?
You grandparent, I think it's singular.
Your grandparent.
Oh,
Then the wooch part.
were fishing.
Went
fishing.
Went.
Oh yeah, because it's singular, went.
Mhm.
He will come back.
He
Or
went to
went.
camp.
Camp?
Um,
The
Yeah.
judge will accept camp. Okay, now we got to get the rest.
When he's done, you can go to him, drive over there. No, okay.
Is it-
Hyundai next to him, by him.
Hyundai is like with, right?
Like I
We'll go
Visit him.
Yeah.
Is it?
take by car.
there by
Yeah.
car,
Or by boat.
or boat.
Yes. If want to be a train.
motorized vehicle.
We'll go to him at camp.
Well, good.
We'll go to him at camp. Is basically what it's. ʼatudli.átk has. Oh, was there a question?
Yeah, what did you say that last sentence meant? Yanshakak du khande gach du kuch.
We will go to him at camp.
Ah, gonna cheese.
Or basically, we'll meet him at camp. ʼatudli.átk has.
They pack their backpacks.
Oh, wow. Yan shakat has kuch, has to chish kuch, sha datu tawasaku, ʼatudli iyawachai.
At camp.
Camp.
I said at for the T.
It is at. Then we gotta look at the verb though. So we gotta, yes, and we gotta look at the verb.
They arrived at camp.
They arrived at camp, and then this is doing something a little, we've been seeing this in dust'eix.
Wait,
There's 2 zeros. Well, there's 3 zeros right in front of it. Whoa. Whoa. What's the first zero? Starting from the root. Okay, now we gotta make a note. Yanshukat taskuch. Gotta unpack what these kids are up to.
The zero conjugation.
Yes. So for kuch, we've got 0, 0, 0, kuch. What's that one?
subject?
It's right next to the root.
Classifier.
Yes. Nothing comes between the classifier and the root. Get out of here.
Pronoun?
I'm the khan. Yes. They.
Object. No.
Preferred? Conjugate?
Conjugation prefix.
Education.
So you have these 3 things, and then you have what's called a consecutive, which means after this thing, right? It's really what it means. And so the sort of once you come back to it, and then you'll say camp at, after, boat by car, or by boat or car. So after they got to camp, haskuch, hastuchlich kuch.
Their grandfather. Or their
Shada
parent.
du tuasagu ʼatudli iyawachai.
The boy wanted to go for the purpose of fishing.
Those parts are there, but when the CH, this is interesting.
Yeah.
The CH is marking the grandparent.
Is it ergative? He's causing something?
The grandparent is the one who's really who's gonna do this verb, and
So
probably is the one who's doing the wanting as well.
he wants Shada to come fishing with him.
Yes. We recognize the iyawachai. Is that a new one for us too?
Oh,
Check it out.
Oh,
That's-
it's owned. Alkszá is owned by Tuasagu.
Yeah, that's the subordinate. That is correct. So you could say a'tuasagu chat yawachai. You could say that too.
Has that little I at the end of Auchai.
Yes.
Subordinate.
So cha, there's 2. Here's cha number 1. I see yausacha. I don't see ya. We're going to be looking for ya cha. But if we look at number 2.
Take him, bring him with.
A'tuasagu chat yawachai. I want them to transport me by boat. Okay.
So.
And just for good practice, we'll go look up transport. Ha'adchai, hat yaducha. They bring our food here by boat. It's a very good phrase for Juno. They are taking people by boat. So this is a progressive form. It has k as the, so this does have an object pronoun and a subject pronoun, right? So I could say ya, ku, yan, ya ku wan chachin, if I want to get fancy. Or I could say ha etchai, hat yachwacha. I transported our food here by boat. Okay. So he wanted to take, after they got to camp, the grandparent wanted to take Shada fishing. Sagut katuchil yande yasa nasnain wayanshuka.
Sagut and her grandmother.
We're doing things.
Would work at camp.
Okay, so we've got yande yas anasnain. If we put this in a perfective, what do you think it might look like?
They were finishing getting ready.
Yes, they're getting it ready. Yan has ausa ne. They got it ready. So you can do this in a progressive. Yande yas anasne. So now, if someone calls you on the phone, what are you doing? Yande yan chasanin. When nadak, I'm getting the table ready, or whatever the thing is, right? So getting it ready. We yan shuka. Sagut and grandma are getting the camp ready. And there's a cat here, but it has no job. Okay. Shada du coach du iyatee a'adé dust'eix.
Shada's grandfather, is it like taught him,
Is teaching him.
teaching him how to fish, maybe?
So there, we know a X'éig, but there is a Kayaaní, which means to pull up a fish, to catch a fish and pull it up. That's where the K part comes in, and you get a plus, you get a z in there, which ʼatudli has that in there anyways. Okay, teaching him how to fish. has ʼatudli. Oh, that same verb in the perfective? How convenient.
He caught the big one. He caught
They
the big
got a
one.
lot of king salmon.
Who did?
They did.
They
all.
both.
They all.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And the salmon got little X's over their walk.
They caught lots of king salmon. So in this case, ʼatudli.átk would be many king salmon. ʼatudli would be a big king salmon. ʼatudli would be big king salmons.
So isn't usually though for the way you order things, it's typically like what you want to put emphasis on though, right? And so it's different in this case?
Well, the situation is you have an adjective, and it's an adjective that comes before the noun.
Okay, but you said that first, so ʼatudli is
It has to go the other way. ʼatudli.
ʼatudli.
So
Oh,
ʼatudli, just to make it confusing, ʼatudli comes before,
okay.
plane comes after, and they are kind of different things.
Oh, clean. So
ʼatudli.
Yeah.
Get away.
ʼatudli. Many big
Lots of
salmon.
big salmon.
I was just wondering when you would use ʼatudli versus ʼatudli.
That's a really good question. They seem to be, I would say, iyatee is probably more than we can count.
Okay.
So this is ʼatudli, but you can still go ʼatudli nasta kun keje. Shawat has to click, has to eat the tiu, hat aadé dust'eix.
The woman, their grandparent, taught them,
Is teaching them.
is teaching them to cut? No, because cut is gut.
Yes, remove the guts of a salmon. Yeexʼ is what you get. And dust'eix. It might be dust'eix. I bet you there's an L in there. I gotta look at. And so this is one of those specific, like we've got a set of specific verbs, and there is a specific verb for two things: for cutting something along the stomach to remove those insides, and then the removing of the inside. I might have frozen, so. But it's under remove, if you look in the verb dictionary. And you've got pulling out teeth, or taking things away. They took all the things I had. And then they had all of their teeth removed. Now we have to remove a splinter or shavings, a little different. Removing the guts. So I do think there's an L. I'm gonna have to fix this. So you can say it with ʼatudli, right? It's a lot of work taking out those guts, right? And then this is the way I have heard this phrase, is with the part on it. And here you have shows the command, which means it's na. It's a verb root with two syllables, which means it's always going to be always, always, always. And so now we can use this in some different ways if we want to. Underneath it, we see to remove the shells of a shell, or this is also to remove the shell of like a boiled egg.
But that's different from the verb for like taking the meat out of the clam.
Would be removing the.
You just said something about the verb being two syllables, and I've never heard that distinguishing issue about a verb.
Yeah.
Would you elaborate?
If a root has two syllables, it's probably going to be invariable. Like niquat, it won't change. Kudzi, it won't change. Ishan, it won't change.
So that means it won't change no matter how you conjugate it.
Yeah.
Cool.
I like my invariables stems. Just stay. Just don't make me think about it. Just one phrase at a time.
Everything has a spirit.
Oh.
This is why we respect.
Yes, but how is it saying it? Because you could use respect as a verb, but this uses respect as a noun.
Because of this, we give them respect.
Yes, we give it respect. This is a repetitive form, a yeexʼ.
Is that a form of the respect with your like hands?
Or is it working with your, we work with our hands on the fish.
It's a different, yeah, it's a different.
Okay.
How we work on fish.
Or like, basically everything has a spirit. This is why we give it respect, the fish we are working on. The fish we are working on. Ganachasawatzik wechat kakanachas du ʼewuk. Ganach.
Gun is fire. Ganach. Open fire. Smoking.
I would think. Oh, they barbecued. I've just learned that one. Or is
Yeah.
it barbecued?
Yep.
Eh.
So this is ganach is around the fire. Ganachasawatzik is to make. This is an old way of making fish. Like I don't know. I'm sure there are people who do it. I've seen it done down in Key from us. Key.
It was my job to do that every May for the Native Student Center in Portland.
Yeah, you gotta like
Yeah, we did that.
it sticks through it and then you put it up like that.
We fed like 500 people. We would dig a giant pit and cook it like that.
So they barbecued fish around the fire. Oops, that shouldn't be high tone.
It was really good.
Delicious to them, yes. Yewe and Chuatan. It was my idea to have a cat in a rock band. Everybody had to go. But what about Yewe and Chuatan? You know that one?
This is how it ends.
That's how this one ends.
That's all, folks.
Okay, good cheese. So since we went from Tlingit to English, I guess it's probably time to go the other direction. We're doing lots of translation exercises. So here's a very realistic conversation. Good to see you.
Yeexʼ satini.
Okay.
Can we get a copy of that story we just did? Or is there a copy out there?
Yeah, I'll put it up.
Okay, okay.
I can put it in the chat too.
Yeah, we went through it. Cloud.
There might be, just ignore the mistakes. It's still in a draft form.
Super cool story, by the way. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, just one more. So like, the idea was I wanted to create short stories with two young children who just speak Tlingit every single day. And everybody, it's a Tlingit universe, right? And so in this one, they do a little trip. So like the idea was they just do these little things. So the next one, Grandpa gets sick and they go out with Grandma to find medicine for him. Which I haven't. It's hard to, if someone wants to listen to it and write it down, that'll probably be helpful. It's hard for me to listen to them sometimes because I miss them.
Side note, if I was to say Gunalchish Ilchsatini, is that I'm thankful to see you?
Yes.
Because I've heard that and I was like, thank you, what?
Yes, so Gunalchish is a verb, but I know some people have gotten grumpy with me in the past for saying it's not just like thank you, because it is, but it's something more, because you'll say Gunalchish ʼatudli.átk, which is what? Thank you, it's in me, but it's like thankfulness is inside of me. So it kind of depends on the context, but yeah. Okay, so what?
ituati.
How come it's not iyatee?
It certainly could be.
Oh, so one is for feelings and one is for physical well-being.
Yeah, like generally, if you don't know them that well, you stick with iyatee. In some situations, this could be interpreted as, what do you want?
What about Masa Shtidanuk?
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling? Yes.
So that's like you add on the feeling for when you do it, the English translation. It wouldn't just be how are you, and then you would know it's.
Yeah, I would say, how are you feeling?
Okay.
And again, a little bit, if you don't know them very well, that could be seen as invasive.
Okay.
But if you like, it's really good if you know someone well and you know, like, you're thinking about how they might be feeling, like in particular.
Yeah, like you genuinely care about the response.
They've been going through it, you know, so you're just checking in. Fantastic. I won lots of money at bingo last night.
Good see.
Yeah.
The Kutsi.
ʼatudli.átk.
Plain Donna.
Atlain Dana.
yeexʼ waadlaaḳ.
Miss.
I should, in future versions of this, I will not be typing. Someone else, because like, it helps me to see how everyone's spelling. It's all good. We're on a good clip.
Bingo duck.
Oh, sheesh. But there's a Tlingit term for this.
Bingo.
How close is to bingo?
I'm just kidding. Cheshaka. Bingo, it's triggering for me. I spent a little too much time at bingo halls when I was young. It's not your fault. Okay.
Once you win the jackpot, you like it.
Alkszá
I never.
daakahídi.
But someone goes with me, they win.
Read for my car.
I guess I'd say it that way. Daakahídi.
Wanak's away Alkszáa.
Oh yeah.
Gambling.
Gambling.
Oh, goodness cheese.
House of gambling.
I heard Donna Alkszáa for bingo. Donna Alkszáa.
Yeah, gambling with money. Yeah, probably.
Bingo hall then?
Yeah, that would be at the bingo hall.
Nice.
Renee? Did Xingit gamble before late Ka arrived?
Yeah, some of the first ones that came here, they're like, what are you guys doing with those sticks? Oh, you want to try it? Next thing you know, they're like, oh, that boat's ours. You just lost your boat. And so, yeah, like, people would win big and lose big. They would lose houses. They would lose everything. So it's called nahain. There was lots of variations of it. I think only a few variations maybe remain. But yeah, there was stick gambling is really what it's commonly called.
Really big in Daakah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Down south too. Those are big.
Yep. Okay. Alkszá daakahídi. I guess I'd probably say yeexʼ just to keep the suffix from going on to daakahídi. But that's me. Oh my.
Daakahídi.
Begin by.
Dasa Huahu.
Judge will accept dasa.
Oh, future.
What?
Ihua'u.
Okay. Judge will accept.
Then Kugwa'u.
Kiki.
Ooh. Look at that verb come together. Dasa kaki'u. And That's a na conjugation. Don't need anything before it as far as a preverb. Good job. Gotta buy a huge TV from Costco.
Thinking about a hot dog house.
Okay, so we have ʼatudli, daakahídi, which we'll put in.
Yeah.
Put some capitals on that. We're gonna go ye.
TV Kukashun.
Kayaaní.
Yeah, thanks.
That's a television show.
Thank you.
Clink, clink.
Dísi.
Yeexʼ. So one word. Kayaaní. Claim. Kukwa. ʼatudli, daakahídi.
Yeexʼ.
Oh, bye.
Oh, yeexʼ. When I say way, we don't want to add the X at the end of daakahídi. Just sounds weird.
I think you'll end up with daakahídi, but then my brain wants to go daakahídi, but then it sounds like plural. I do think you can say daakahídi, and it pushes that stem low. But I'm just gonna say yeexʼ because that's easier for me to deal with.
And how are yeexʼ and daakh similar?
What is ye?
It's a empty. What is it? What do you call that? No.
Inside.
Isn't it a building from the outside
From the
as
out.
opposed to neich?
Yes.
You
You
gave
neich
away.
when neich, you ye when you're not neich.
Yeah.
If you're gone, you ye, and if you're neich, you neich. And you can go neichdach, neichdé. You can go yidé, yidach. So you could say yidach. Kukyachitle plain. Our tau. A'tudli, daakahídi, yidach. They stole a television from inside of Costco.
Is that the suffix? Is the X?
Yeah. At the inside. You could say yidach if you wanted to here.
Oh, gross.
Huh?
That's what you're calling Costco?
You're so late. You're so late to this game.
What's the ''at'' for again?
Hot dog?
Some things.
Issue nasi? Or is that like
That's sausage.
That's sausage.
You
So
cannot say iyatee cake, or they will get mad at you.
Well, that's like actual hot dog, right? Dog.
And that dog, if that dog gets that hot, it's dead too.
Well, maybe I'll just go this
H,
way.
I would say it again. There's a dog.
Easier.
I'll be sensitive here. You could take it up with the committee if you're not happy with my name for Costco. I thought it was fun. Do you remember that you borrowed, money?
Borrow.
Cut or a cut. Iyatee. Do you remember it?
Iyatee?
Iyatee. I'm gonna assume it's rent.
And just, let's go. Pretty close to remember.
Is the verb root.
So for remembering is to recall, like you have to think on it to bring it to mind, right? Without thinking about it, sorry. So it's sort of like you're just like, oh yeah, I just remembered this thing. Like I didn't even have to think about it. I just remembered this thing. To keep in mind, iyatee, a cut iyatee. What we might need here is a pronoun. and then there's to bear in mind, right? And then you have to think about something until it comes to mind. And then you have remind, which is a little bit different. So let's go see if, well, ooh, let's look at our handy list of themes. Is it in here? No, Kayaaní. So if it's not in here, I don't know if it's in the database.
Dictionary.
So our next step is to go look it up under T number 2. Sa, ya, ti. That tells us what we need to know.
Dative verb.
Yeah, so what does that mean?
You're. No.
Takes an object.
Yes.
So the pronoun would go before it.
So let's go here first. So here's how they write it. So I would write a plus ka, probably t, probably tilde, which means it could become aadé. That's really what that's saying in this particular instance. In the future, I would expect aadé. In a repetitive form, I would expect kach. That's why there's a tilde there. The tilde says it's t, but it might change. Okay. Oh, but now what? What comes next?
Pronoun.
She.
Eh.
Well, no, I mean we're writing a
Or
theme.
ye?
We're writing a
Oh,
theme.
okay, so
I knew what we were doing, but I didn't tell you. This tells
Is that M?
it's an object. Oh.
the committee will accept a no. Now what?
Much. S. Yes.
Classifier.
All right.
S.
And
and
then
then T.
T-E.
T.
Hey,
No subject in it?
there is no subject for this.
Okay.
So when it says ST, that's telling you object only.
Okay.
TR, object and subject. IN, subject only. IM, neither.
So ST's object only.
Yes.
Okay.
They call it stative. We call it object intransitive now if we want to give it a fancy name. Okay, so now we know that we have iyatee, which is interesting. So there's iyatee. So a cut iyatee would be they for remembered, or remembered, I guess. But what I want to say is, do you remember?
Cut iyatee again. Iyatee.
What I would probably do is put the ge right there.
Ah.
Not
Eh.
It right there.
Iyatee.
Iyatee. Do you remember? Isn't there a song that has that? Is it Phil Collins? Is that what I'm thinking of right now?
The September one?
Phil Collins. Do you remember?
I don't know the names for it.
Like some kind of funky thing in his voice.
There's tons of them.
Okay.
So
Back to
yeah, the game.
That's the mission at hand.
Fire.
I got to get iyatee.
We don't know. Somewhere.
Donna?
The verbers he's.
Let's practice this. So here's a collection of themes. We should be able to get to it fairly fast using this, thinking that we can use the conjugator or our abilities to then move the verb around. For S, to borrow, O. So the money is going to be the object. So I could guess on what else would be there, but maybe we can find it in the verb dictionary.
Is it jeet? His?
It's probably going to be jidach.
Jidach. Because it's to do with your hands, right?
Yeah, like, well, the possession.
Possession.
From the possession.
Yeah.
Let's go see if this gives us an answer. Hunda kahiti dachyan de hits. Hanagu wututihis. Achuna ye outlahis. Nagu kakihis. Kuhida kautlahis. This doesn't give us what we're looking for. I would imagine you would say achjidach. But then we would have this. So this tells us also that it's ga conjugation right here, which is important. So that means in the perfective, it's going to want to be long and low. But if it ends with this apostrophe, it stays high. So then I probably would say akatke isayati dana ye he's ach ji dach, which could be jit. What? You're asking me now? I was so happy.
Asa.
Adult.
I would put exclamation.
Ado!
Ooh.
Hanawoos.
That would be a command form.
Oh.
Where are you living at now?
Right. I do
Oh,
so.
okay.
Here.
You're asking me.
Oh, Ikaboos?
Chat. Yeah, so okay, so now we have cha woos. So this is probably a good time to call in the conjugator, which is
Da-da-da.
I have so many things open. Oh, there it is.
Can we take another look at all the stuff in front of it? Like the verb conjugation and all that stuff, so we can
Yes.
the right part of the conjugator.
Let's go back to, let's try this again.
Okay.
Da.
Going down to woos. Went too far. So now we have object, subject, zero classifier, woos, not changing, woos every time, na conjugation.
Thematic.
If we could only remember all that.
Yes, you kind of like as you kind of build a database in your mind of verbs. It was like, oh yeah, that's not conjugation. Oh yeah, that's got an object. I mean, As a second language learner, these are the steps we kind of take, right? But then like,
Wooch.
because, and just in terms of like how I do this stuff, when I hear a new verb, I'll say, how would you command someone to do that? And they'll say, "Xanawus." I was like, okay, I got it. And then I just sort of put it in my memory. But, you know, that's how I function. So we also know it's wooch every time. It's an act verb, so it has imperfective. So the imperfective is, well, let's take that to the conjugator, because what we're looking for here is there's no table of contents now? Okay.
Mine does.
It does? Oh, is it just hidden? Oh, there it is.
Oh.
So here's a thematic imperfective with a 0 classifier. So we should have capital C-E-E.
Kayaaní wooch.
There's no na. So when we remember here, when we get to this prefix, the only thing that comes after this is the stem.
Ius. I have to look
Oh,
up.
would it be like ʼeig,
So we have sa.
use?
Well, chat comes right after.
Okay, so chat.
We have cha.
Okay.
What this tells you,
Oh,
so the consonant is X underline
Pitch.
apostrophe. The
Consonant.
vowel is the letter A. If we look over here, the vowel is gone. We only want E. As they'd say in Hawaiian. Like, so if you're being real nosy in Hawaiian, they'll say, "You're asking questions." I mean, that's what they told me. They said they would just tell you what you're doing. But they'd say it in a way where you're like, better stop. Chet.
So the CE, what does the EE part mean in the CEE in the conjugator?
That means if it's ka, it's going to be ki. If it's ya, it'll be yi. If it's k, it's going to be ki.
Oh, okay. And here we have the EE.
Only save the consonant and then you add 2 e's to it.
Okay.
so how do you find out what these verbs are? Because it's like little symbols that you use, like certain classifier signal. I'm
Yeah. So
how to get that.
no, that's a
what I'm
great question. So when you look up a theme, right? So like here's one to raise somebody, to grow a plant. So you say, okay, it has an object. There's a list of objects I could pick from. As a subject, there's a list of subjects I could pick from. The letter S, it's an S classifier. So it's going to be sa, unless it happens or potentially happens, it'll trigger it to sit. And then want or want, if it's marked high, it won't go low. Just keep that in mind.
Okay.
And then it's a 0 conjugation. So those are the things you have to know in order to just use this verb on your own. But you can look at all this information and take it into the conjugator. So you say, okay, I'm going to raise this child, this little lion baby that's now mine, or whatever it is. What was it? Anyways. So you can go here, say future. We're looking for 0 conjugation S classifier. So this shows you, I take all the conjugations. You don't have to look it up specifically because you'll look that stuff up right here. But this is 0 classifier, D plus 0. There's your S classifier. So now, kasa want. I will raise this child, this dog, this puppy. Kesh kasa want. I will not raise this kid. But that's how you use this. So this is designed to sort of like, and you kind of got to keep, I think, both of them open at the same time. So you could keep looking at the theme and look over here and hopefully get to yourself. My thinking is this. You get yourself to a point where you look up a theme, you say, okay, object, subject, classifier, conjugation type. You bring all that information into here to look it up. And eventually you'll start to learn those patterns so that once you see that theme, you'll say, I can use that verb however I want.
Okay.
So In your dictionary, we're not using the X anymore. You're just gonna put a high tone on the watt.
Oh, we'll use the X. Yes.
Oh, you do? But I thought that meant invariable. And then you said watt means it's always high tone.
No, the little X is invariable, but if it's
Yeah.
marked high, it won't go low. For example, so here's the negative future, right? So the negative future with an S, this is what it says. Oops. This should all be low.
Stupid conjugator.
I think he was just saying in that mode, daakahídi, it will say like that. Not that it will always say like that for all modes, like an invariable.
Uh-huh.
Well, like here's the modes, right? So stem variation, there's a couple things we look at. There's regular stems. There's open stems, closed stems. They're just regular. They do everything we expect them to do. Now it all depends on the conjugation type, which is usually 0 or everything else, and the mode, command, perfective, whatever. Now we're going to see like we kind of got two options here. But then there's two other sort of things. I say, okay, hold on. But then there's a fading root with this little h. The fading root means this. In a repetitive mode, it will stay low. So here's a repetitive. These are high, that's high, low, low. What about a habitual? High, 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 low. Okay, so that's what the little h means. It means that in repetitive forms, I stay low. That's what that little h, that's the only thing it really affects. Long time ago, there's probably an H on the end. That's why we put that H on there. It used to be ta with like an H at the end. The thing with closed is if we mark them high, they don't go low. So for example, for a perfective, like you'd say aadé, good, long and low. And then I've got this other one that's g conjugation, but it's our shot. Shot does not go low. That's really what that, and we say it's either ejective or it's lateralized, but that doesn't matter. All that matters to you, marked high in the theme won't go low. Just that's the thing you have to remember.
I think if we do this over and over again, it will sink in. Gonna cheat.
Okay. Chat X'éig idat. I was so happy.
Atuwusiku.
Well, so the wuti, so we can just conjugate the verb sagu instead of trying iyatee, like
Okay.
So Wasiku.
back to, okay, so
Just short. Good.
oops, not here.
I was there.
W Sigu.
Seguin.
one.
Ooh, yeah, saguin. A'tuwu saguin.
Seguin.
So in terms like, so, let's go look up goo real quick. We'll be real fast.
Yeah, because it's not in the verb database.
Here we go.
It's not.
So tuwu sagu. So here we've got it's a g state verb with an S classifier. There's no object, no subject, no nothing, because you've got tuwu, right?
Conjugator.
So what we're going to look for, I think, I was this, but I'm not now. What we're going to look for something like that,
Possessive.
we are going to go to the negative perfective.
Possessive.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah. A possessive, yes. So we're gonna have Irialis. What are those things doing? Okay. Okay, and then un. Okay, so what we need to do is we're looking for the S classifier here. And it's going to be this third person with not a third person object. So now we're going to go down. Here we go. So, oh, hold on. Now we've got S classifier, but that's not the one we're looking for, right? Because it's G conjugation.
Oh.
So when these have to separate by conjugation, you're going to have 0. And then the next thing might be everything else. So that's what this is. If you get into ones where the conjugation prefix gets activated, like a habitual, hortative, potential, conditional, then it has to separate out individually. All the zeros, all the na, all the ga, all the qa, organized by classifier. And they'll go the exact same order every time. The classifier will always go 0, D plus 0, S, D plus S, L, D plus L, SH, D plus SH. So that means we go right here. Wuss. That's our verb. Wuss. And it should be long and low. Thank you. And then we have to put ach to woo, wuss, goo, one. And I would probably say kachwasa, just so that we can get dramatic about it. Kachwasa ach to wuss, goo, one.
I don't think it would hurt to do this again, kind of even more slowly.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I'm flipping around. But gooxʼ.
You mean like how last time we had like 30 seconds to like have a moment and like
Do it on your own? Okay. Okay. I'll write more conversations.
I like this one.
Okay.
Very useful.
We're almost to the...
Donna itinach. I know this one.
Yaida.
Right now?
Right
All right.
now.
Let me fix. I gotta figure out like my line spacing here someday.
you can set it where it auto adjusts.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeexʼ. Oh, sorry. Let me check the chat. Chatters.
It's just
Okay. It's like,
Wait, TV, yes?
what for?
that, yes.
Asa, yes. Asa, yes. That, yes, saya. Okay.
Okay. We'll do a copy and paste job.
Goodness.
But now, from Costco, we gotta change it to yidach.
And the watch.
Okay, come to my house.
Or
A huge. So we're no longer buying it, right? Just saying a huge TV from Costco with no verb.
yep.
Uh-huh.
Also,
Idi. Ahidi na gu. Ka.
the committee accepts ʼatudli nagu, but asks for a suffix.
Idik.
Day.
Suffix, okay.
Ah.
Day.
Oh yeah, two.
Gu.
Now I would use a purposive verb here. That's just me. Or what if we said this? just so we can sort of see how this, I would probably do it this way.
Let me get a subordinate. Oh, you took out so. Oh no, so we can.
I added so. It said and.
Not
You
conditional.
could double up your commands, but I would. The thing
Also-
in here would be to use the so.
Dasa duasak movie shinket hina.
What are we
Kayaaní?
moving atiahai?
Daakahídi.
Oh,
Oof, goodness cheese.
does that mean moving?
So TV show and
Yeah.
movie is
Pictures?
Yeah, they move across the space. Okay, so we're going to Latin it. Oops, I keep going back. They look too similar. Okay. So we're going to 15. Trying to sort of see. Oh wait, I'm supposed to go.
Do we need a subordinate?
I would use a purposive here. So this is saying, so a subordinate says when or that, but for this, if you're doing a command, really what you end up doing with commands is to do this so this other thing can happen. That's what you end up with. And that gets you to purposive, which is a hortative with a T on it. That's really what it is. So we'll look up the verb, and then we'll look up the hortative.
So a purposive is a hortative with a T.
Yep. So you could say, Zereldes de nacht to a'at. A'atchayet. I have a flutter in my eye. 14. Okay. Oh, look, there's a verb for go away mad. Okay, hold on. We're not looking for that one. Okay, this is what we're going to watch. You could probably put a ka on it, but we're not going to. We're just going to use tlatin because it's a familiar verb, object, subject, L classifier, 0. Those are the things we need. And it's regular stem. So we're going to look up a 0 conjugation L classifier verb. And then we'll see what the stem variation should be.
Tuyanaka, that little magic phrase of what we're looking for.
We're going to look for a 0 conjugation
Mhm.
L classifier hortative verb. And we're going to throw a T on the end. And in this case, it'll be a IT.
And so how do you know you're looking for the hortative?
Because if you're ever doing so it could happen, you're going to use what's called a purposive.
Oh, the one with the T.
That's the big fancy name for it, but we should just call it the so it could happen mode.
With a T.
And it's a hortative with a T.
Okay, okay.
So like if you know nach to art.
So what will happen?
Right? I could say "X'éig de yeexʼ nach to art. Put your shoes on so we can go.
So it would be gallatent.
Well, so we.
Oh, we, not you. So
I did change it. I changed it in post.
So gallatent.
Go find the hortative.
So hortative is the one that's there's no way I can't do.
Let's.
Oh, it's the
Hortative
let's.
always let's eat. Let's
Let
go.
it be.
Oh,
Let-
that's what it is.
Inrati, that's a hortative. Tuqaqasi.
Equati.
There's people out there with these hortative tattoos. Good for them. Okay, so we are looking for
0.
0 conjugation, L classifier. So
Page 1.
again, once we go to hortative, we go 0. So the hortative will be separated out. It's going to be all the zeros, all the na, all the ga, all the qa. So there's 0, D plus 0, S, D plus S, and L. Qa, tu, sha. I don't know what the stem variation's going to be. I do think it's, I'm gonna say long and low. Everyone want to put money on short and high?
Hint.
What's the over under on that? Qatlatinit. Qatulatinit. So if it ends with a consonant, you usually gotta go it.
Okay. Instead of just going straight into NT.
Yeah.
Okay.
Qatlatint. Because it's just too. It needs a peg vowel.
Oh, God.
I can accept a peg vowel.
So now we got qatula, right? Now let's go. This is where we do need this. We absolutely do. And this is something I haven't figured out, like how does the stem variation work for some of these? I think it's gonna be long. It's gonna be short and high. Because that's why this is the little extra note that's in here. So when you look up the theme that says the hortative or potential are short and high. So basically the theory here is they are long and low, but we need to mark the ones that are sometimes short and high. I don't understand why. But if we go down to the hortative, it should be short and high. You should put money on it. Guys could have won big. Donna Kayaaní waadlaaḳ. Yeexʼ. Okay. And it even shows us. Qatulatinit is what I would say. Which is fun sound.
And that means for the purpose of letting us watch it.
So we could watch it.
Gatut-
So we could.
Gatutlatinit.
Yes. Come to my house so we can watch a movie.
So you need to put the it. Ah, yeah.
And so this would be, right? Let's say we got a grandchild.
Hey, Lance,
Ah.
can you move your picture so it's not blocking your work?
Oh, is it?
I think you just need to make your screen bigger, Shanakate. Maybe get rid of the chat.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Sheesh.
That's tiny.
So here's this complicated sentence we just did. And this is complicated stuff, right? But if you want to use big whole language, you do have to learn. So you could also say, Dutch, Hank, hot, sanu. Bring our grandbaby over so we could watch that grandbaby. Because this could also be like babysitting, cat sitting, dog sitting.
Kind of random, but could daakahídi work for a moving painting?
What's a moving painting?
Well, like like those paintings that like the eyes follow you.
Or like Van Gogh has an interactive exhibit now, or like the painting.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's essentially a TV screen.
I guess.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of
It's
like LED
projection.
cells or projection. Yeah.
Well, so
These are LEDs now.
this is the image, the shadow, photograph.
Oh, shadow.
But do you know what this is? There's a story. Yeexʼ, Kayaaní, hit. What would that translate to? I'll do the first part.
Raven and
A picture of the man?
Picture house.
Iyatee.
It's shadow, raven, and
Man shadow.
the shadow house.
Oh.
Oh,
Kayaaní it could also be a ghost.
not Seikikawu.
Most people say ʼatudli.átk now. But if you go to go to the Raven book. And you go to the table of contents. And you look in, I think, it's Frank Dick. There it is. Fun story. It's real short. I guess, well, yeah, it's kind of short. So like things just keep moving and things like, things start appearing and stuff. It's pretty fun.
Okay.
Good work, everybody. We didn't do the toot today, but we'll do it on Wednesday. Thoughts or questions?
That's a final.
Okay. So your final is to write a conversation. Just like, and so that's why I started doing these little things, just for like inspiration and just to show you even a little like 10-sentence conversation can be kind of complicated. But what I think, here's what I think everyone should do, is we're probably gonna have to partner up, which I don't want to stress anybody out. If you're stressed out about that, let's facilitate the partnerships on Wednesday. If you have someone you'd like to work with, you can, and if you need someone to work with, like we'll help you before we start recording the class, just so that's, I don't like pressure. I don't like, you know, I don't like everybody choose a partner, and then I was always standing there like, oh, too shy, right? And so, and I don't want anybody to feel bad, but I want us to have fun. And then here's what the assignment is. Everybody in this class will write a dialogue. That doesn't mean two people get together and write one. That means two people get together to perform two. And if we need, we'll work it out. If I need to like go into deep character mode and act with someone, I'm happy to do that. I can also, and we don't record it, but it'll be fun. This will be, we kind of talked at the early part of the semester about one of the big reasons for this. The intermediate class, their final has changed a little bit. They are reciting a 30-sentence version of daakahídi, which they all took turns reading last night. I was inspired by how well they read, so I said, everybody just memorize that, and you'll all come into the Zoom or the room one at a time and recite that story to me. But you can also look down at your notes if you need to. So that's intermediate. So advanced, I would like you to write a conversation, and I do think 10 lines is a little bit short.
20, 30?
Well, what about if everyone wrote 10 lines and had to memorize it?
For me, it's less about memorization at this point and more about complexity of subject matter.
20.
20 is fine.
But complex.
Yes. So not like, how are you? How's the weather? Oh, it's raining, right? And so however you want, you know, I had fun with these. Like these were fun. Like just, and also like, it's a little bit outrageous at the end, right? But think about day-to-day conversation, you know. Because I do think I had a relative who borrowed some money from me, and then we're super happy when they hit it big. And I was like, so, but whatever kind of subjects you want, but think about what kinds of things, like this is always interesting too. Like I do think people who get really good at languages aren't always really good at understanding how people talk, which is ironic because like you just always get these really bizarre like dialogue exercises. But the goal here is that we'll eventually write a series of just a whole bunch of conversations that will eventually be used to teach people X'éig, because then they'll learn how to say things like, I lost my dog, have you seen my dog, you know, just whatever the thing is. Oh yeah, well I guess movie lines, that'd be kind of fun. We'll do that some other time though, so it'll be fun. I may have at a X'éig in, I think we're in Huna. I did like a lot of the opening scene from Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke, which means I watched that movie a lot when I was young, and I thought it was funny. But also, like, just think about that kind of stuff. We also did several lines, like a whole scene one time, I think, from Pulp Fiction. He's like yelling. He's like, say what one more time. Like, that was really funny to think about. Okay. Anything else before we go? Good job, translators.
So when are we performing?
Oh, yeah.
First week of the first class in May, I think.
What is the syllabus?
Sikuke? Let's see what the UAS website has to say about this. Where do they put this? They're sneaky. Okay. So we meet on Monday, Wednesday, these times. We're talking Wednesday, May 1st, 5:30 p.m. That's your call. Your call time is 5:30 p.m.
Wednesday, May 1st.
Lassa?
Wednesday, May 1st. So we're not-
Wednesday, May 1st.
Okay.
That is our last class meeting. We can,
So
okay,
we're doing it on the last class, not during the finals.
it's finals week. Finals week. We will meet on Monday of that week. Monday is our final class. It's my last day to teach you anything.
Oh, okay.
I have a question. How do you say we are helping each other?
Yeah.
Is it Wooch in ha ʼatudli'?
Okay, so
Maybe like Wooch in the she.
well, so for this, yeah, you guys are right on track, right? So here's your helping verb. So we have N plus E dash T with the tilde, which means that T can change. It's a T, but it can change. Subject, D plus 0, she. So there's a couple things. It's already plus D. So for the subject to help, assist, N. So this is an indirect object. So you would have Wooch, E, but then we got to sort of figure out, like, here we'll look at what the database has. We'll go up to she. And, oops, that's right. So you could use a progressive if you wanted to. And basically, you would be looking up the t and changing this to wooch. Wooch ideyan to dashin. You could say that. You could say we helped each other, or we are right now. And again, this part won't change because it's already plus D. Change d to wooch. Wooch eat to dashi. We helped each other. We are helping each other. That one for me doesn't sound too great in terms of like the right now part. But you can also go way down to the repetitive, which is Wooch ich to dashi. We regularly help each other. That sounds really nice because it's not like a one-time deal.
Wooch.
How did you say it again?
Wooch ich to dashi. Exactly like this. We change ach to wooch, and we put t right in front of dashi. I'll put it in the notes.
We always help each other.
We regularly help each other.
Okay.
If you want to always help each other, you're going to end up with a habitual, which would be wooch eat to dashich.
Wooch eat to the she. And that's we always help each other.
Yes. Way to one up me. I was just like being repetitive about it. I'll put them both in the notes just so we have. Here's ach ich dashi, and then do eat to the sheech. And just to see how we would change them, change ach to wooch, add to, change to wooch, and now we've got them both.
So in Teslan, would that she be like sheen? Sheen?
The bottom one was.
Yeah. Okay. How do you know, like, anytime it's that, you just nasalize it? Because I never know, so I just like nasalize everything.
Yeah, so like chaich, so that, when you're getting that added Y in there, that would absolutely nasalize.
Okay.
Otherwise, like king danach, that one is one of the most nasally ones that there is.
Yeah.
Because there's other ones that might not be. Like if you told people, y'all eat something, that wouldn't. So what happens is when it gets contracted to just the Y, that's when it's going to do it, I think.
Nasal.
I know we always help each other, but I also know it's time to go. That's helping each other just by going home. We're getting off this Zoom.
Yeah, anytime somebody's just meeting adjourn and calls for it, it's helping me.
Okay. Good to cheese.
Sheesh.
Gonna cheese, Siagan.
Sheesh.
If I try to translate a cheat sheet for Robert